This is February 22nd Daily Review. Number 1. Compare 3 1/2 to 3 5/10. Whole number 3, whole number 3. Now we need to look at comparing half to 5/10. You should know already that half is same thing as 5/10. To know that, remember half, 1 divided by 2. Two goes into 1, no. 2 goes into 10, yes. 5 times 2 is 10. So 1/2 is same thing as 5/10. So 3 1/2 is equal to 3 5/10. Number 2, compare 65/100 to 4/5. Once again, you need to either change 65/100 to a fraction, so you can compare a fraction to a fraction, or change 4/5 into a decimal, so you can compare decimal to a decimal. Let's go ahead and change 4/5 to a decimal by doing 4 divided by 5. Alright, bring your decimal straight up. 5 goes into 4, no. 5 goes into 40, yes. 8 times 5 is 40. So 4/5 is same thing as 8/10. Which is same thing as 80/100. So we are comparing 65/100 to 80/100. So 80/100 is greater than 65/100. So you have 65/100 is less than 4/5. Number 3, compare 42/100 to 4 1/2. Just by looking at one's place, you should know the answer. Finish this one on your own. Number 4, estimate 8 1/4 minus 3 3/4. Okay, 8 1/4, is that close to 8 or is that closer to 9? Of course it's closer to 8. 3 3/4, is that closer to 4 or is it closer to 3? Of course it is closer to 4. So what you're doing is actually asking yourself a question with this 8 1/4. 8 1/4, are we going to round up to be 9 or are we going to round down to be 8? And of course we need to round down because 1/4 is less than half. 3 3/4, are you going to round up to be 4 or are you going to round down to be 3? In this case, you need to round up because 3/4 is greater than half. So you can finish this one on your own, 8 minus 4. Number 5, estimate 7 9/10 plus 6 7/10. You need to ask yourself a question. 7 9/10, are we going to round up to be 8 or are we going to round down to be 7? And then you need to ask yourself a question on 6 7/10. Are we going to round up to be 7 or are we going to round down to be 6? Alright, on 7 9/10, we are going to round up. because 9/10 is more than halfway, which is 5/10, plus 6 7/10, we're going to round up because 7/10 is bigger than halfway, which is 5/10. So you can finish this one on your own. Thanks.